Good morning. In this video, we are going to be working on the side drawer for real this time and making it work with the public collections. Right now, when you go to a public collections page, we are loading all of the given categories and tags that a user has, and instead we should be loading categories and tags based on the public collection that we're viewing. So RCQ, that is our public collections ID. And we need to update the sidebar to get that ID and fetch categories and tags and folders for that collections ID and display those instead of displaying the user's links. This is going to be similar to what we did for public collections. Sorry, this is going to be similar to what we did for links. There's this link search component, and that right now is respecting collections. When you're on a collection page, you are only seeing links from that given collection. That's what all these testing 1, testing 2, testing 3 links are. And then if I go to the Linkadex normal links page, I see all of my personal links as well as the public collection links, because I own this public collection, so these links do belong to me. I can go here and I can say, hey, show me links from collection 1 or one of my other collections, which I don't think are actually populated. Yeah, doesn't matter. Collection 1. Or I can look at just my private links. I can look at links from one of my organizations. But when I go to a collections page, I only see links for that public collection. This doesn't make much sense in context of my individual user, because I can already, well, this doesn't make a lot of sense yet because this public collection page isn't done. But eventually public collections are going to be publicly accessible. So anyone with an account, anyone without account, you don't even have to be logged in. Anyone will be able to navigate to a public collection page, whether they are logged in or not, and see the links that are in a public collection, as well as the categories and tags. We just need to start building. First things first is, in regards to this sidebar, the side drawer, I think I'm going to make this work a similar way that I have modals working, which is there is a modal wrapper, and the modal wrapper gets some arguments and then decides which modal is actually displayed. The modal is powered by state. I'm going to show that. I think this is a really good way to make modals. I think all modals should be done like this. So we have, that's the modal context. Oh yeah, so there's a modal context, and it stores if the modal is open and what type of modal it is. And then if we just look at modal state, so is open, modal type, and then data, which is an arbitrary amount of, like an arbitrary object. I should type this. I have not. There's a lot of different modals, and typing them all would be a little insane, but I should type them. Someday I will. And if I go to the modal, let's just open one of these and then go to the index. So there's a modal index. So when you render the modal, you're rendering this guy, and this imports a bunch, all of the modals that exist. And then based on the modal state, there's just a big switch statement. And based on the modal state, modal type renders the guts of a modal. So we have this huge switch statement, and then this huge switch statement returns a modal. And material UI, which is what I'm using, dialog is a modal. It's dialog component. So let me show this a little bit in more detail. So there's this modal types. I have this modal type object, and this is every type of modal that there is. So all you have to do is anywhere in the application, you can import the modal context. You can tell the modal context to update the modal context state to say, is open true, and then modal type one of these guys, and the modal will open. And then you can close it from anywhere by doing the same thing, but saying, is modal open false. It makes it really simple to open a modal from anywhere. There's one source of truth for how our modal's rendered, and you can go from one modal to another modal to another modal, which is a little janky of a user experience, I think, but it works. So if I go to edit link and then I want to add a new category, I can add a new category. If I want to add a new folder, I can add a new folder. Then I can close the folder, and then I can close the category, and then I can close the link. This is not happy. I will fix that. That's fine. This is a great way to handle modals. I've done that. I've done it this way at every company I've ever worked at. I've done this everywhere I've worked, and it's been fantastic. I've done this at billion-dollar companies. I've done this at small, nimble startups. It's a great way this is great. I swear by this. So, anyway, I think I want to do a similar thing for the side drawer. The reason I want to do a similar pattern for the side drawer is that the side drawer is going to long term, I think, change based on what page you are on. Right now, this doesn't make a lot of sense. We have a lot of work to do before public collections is close to being done, because there's a lot of things that don't make sense for public collections being to display right now on this page. Backtrack. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done for public collections. For example, having these edit link, delete link, and copy URL icons. We'll fix that. Having this drop down doesn't make sense. Most people who go to everyone but one person who goes to a public collections page isn't going to actually have permission to do any of this edit stuff here or here or here or here. And so there's a lot more work we have to do to make this pretty and make this make sense and not confusing for users. For now, what we're doing is we are just hooking up the data. I want to be able to display everything. I want the page to be functional and working, like hook everything up. And then from there, then we can start assessing, okay, now let's make this pretty. And yeah, that's how I've elected to do things. I want to sanity check and like kind of proof of concept that this does actually work, and it will work, but I want a proof of concept that it is working. And then from there, we can make it look pretty. So step 1, make it functional. Step 2, make the user experience a lot better. Okay. That's going to be annoying, but whatever. So I'm going to go over to my code, and what did I change in here? Nothing. Okay. Okay. So without further ado, side drawer index. So this is the side drawer, which is this guy. And right now there's just one. I'm going to leave everything in here for now, and then when I'm gonna consciously leave stuff in here for now. It's not going to get too wild, and then I'm going to come back at some point and refactor versus over engineering this. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do for now. Okay, so const here. Let's grab all of this. So turn. I'm going to make a function that decides which side drawer we render. And then, did that right? Yeah, okay. And then what we're going to do is this is gonna change. We're gonna have another side drawer, which is going to be public collection side drawer. And we don't need that. It doesn't make sense. And I gotta split the buttons into two. That's a bummer. We'll leave it for now. That's the only change we'll make. Okay, and then we will go ahead and here we will say if something, return this else, return something else, and this if is going to be what page we're on. And I have something up here. I was checking, like, is user on links page. What we're going to do is user on public collections page. Say this. And with that, this might not work because this might be a, I don't think I can do like a star here. I think it needs to be an includes. How do I do includes with JavaScript? I don't remember. JavaScript check if string includes. Oh, well, that's easy. Includes. Okay, and then now, boom. Okay, so that one section we wanted disappeared. So now if I'm at the link page, I'm on the links page, I see the filter categories and tags. If I go to a collections page, I do not see the filter categories, or excuse me. If I'm on the links page, I see the filter, oh, that was right, I see the filter categories and tag drop down, this guy. Should maybe rename that. If I go to a collections page, that drop down disappears. So if we are on a public collections page, we're rendering this. Otherwise, we're rendering this. It's all wrapped in our wipeable drawer. Boom, we have two different side drawers depending on which page we're on. At some point, we're also going to have a different one for, if I go to the collections page, for example, it doesn't make sense for a user to be able to see categories and tags here. That's kind of weird. I'm not tackling that right now, but that's something that I'm going to be handling at some point. Let's go back here. Okay, so cool. now all we got to do is swap out the side drawer categories display and side drawer tags display components with a wrapper for public collections, and we'll be good. This should be pretty easy. What we're going to do is we're going to look, where is this guy? Oh, it's in the side drawer. Okay, so I don't want to repeat all of this information. What if I need 2 wrappers? How do I untangle this? The entry point right now is the index, and the index is hard-coded for fetching this, so how do I go back one? I think this is redundant. I think we have categories display. This component would accept. I'm trying to think where do I back out this use query stuff while keeping the right pattern, like the right file structure. So side drawer categories display has an index. So when you import this and then render this component, you're rendering the index. This is what you're rendering. This needs to go out one level, but if it goes out one level, it would be in the side drawer. The side drawer should not be fetching this kind of stuff, I don't think. I want to render a side drawer public collections category display and side drawer public collections tags display. What I want to do. But then I don't want to have to rewrite, like just copy paste all this code. So this is where I'm rendering the wrapper. I just not have an index file in this one. 2 entry points and everything else is reusable. That's a little weird, but it would work. Is there a better way to do it? I think that's what I'm going to do it for now. So, okay, so we're going to change this. Instead of being index, it's going to be category. Wrapper. I just clicked a bunch of stuff I didn't mean to. Category display wrapper. That's what we're going to call it. I'm going to say never, but then in here, I'm going to do this. This is going to be tag display wrapper. Getters, tags. Text display wrapper. Category display wrapper. Oh, let's fix this too. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to have these files as well. And then in this one, we're going to copy, paste. Let's rename this. This is category collection. I'm not a huge fan of that either, honestly, but I'm going to copy this in here. Fix your name. Cool. And then all this has to do. So, okay, so now we should be back in business. We're not quite back in business. That's okay. I'm going to fix the names of this. And we're going to fix the name of our tags one as well. And we should now be back in business. No. Did I change the wrong one? I did. Okay, so we have tags display wrapper. Oh man, okay, I messed this up even more. Got it though. And then we need to same thing. Oh, wait. These two. Then these are the same, they just don't have the word collection in them. Okay, so now we have categories display wrapper, tags display wrapper. That's one, if you're really pragmatic about naming things, then you can do stuff like what I just did, where you know like the difference between these two components is just the word wrapper, and then you can delete the word, sorry, the difference is the word collection, and if you delete the word collection, you're going from the one that renders collections to the one that renders not collections. It's the regular standard one. And I kind of flew through that, but I've been doing this for a long time. And I'm used to how I name things. I should slow down and explain stuff better maybe, but now the sidebar is working. Again, so okay, we're building again successfully, and then what we need to do now is update or change these guys are tags display and categories display wrappers for collections to, instead of be fetching all of this information, they should instead be fetching folders and tags for the given collection. And then we're just going to pass that into the tags display and the categories display, and then it'll just work and we'll be done. All we need to do is write these queries, which I don't think exist yet. If I go to queries, get tags, yeah, yeah. So we need to write this too. So that's what we're doing now. We're going to do, let's commit first, actually. There we go. Tag display wrapper. Oh yeah, look at that, will be different, but not yet. Tags and categories, category display wrapper, and then the side drawer. Yeah, okay. We're gonna go ahead and commit this as tag and category wrapper for wrappers for side drawer and public collections. Cool. So now on the front end, we are going to edit the, we're going to do categories first. So here we're going to get public collections folders, public collection folders query, and public collection categories query. There, put it there. From queries, get categories query is here. Okay. Export const get public collections folder query, and we're going to go ahead and define it. GQL. Okay. Get collection. How do we do this for links? Get public. Oh, we're there already. Okay, cool. So this is query collection categories. I want to make sure I do this the same way everywhere, like follow the exact same pattern, just so my nomenclature stays standardized. These are not going to be paginated, so the only argument I'm going to need is the collection public ID, which is still going to be a string. And then I'm going to do this, and then we just fetch, no. And then we do lowercase collection categories. And I just don't want to type that. And we do another one of these, and now we do ID, etc., etc. Okay, cool. So for categories, we need these things. ID, title, excuse me, ID, title, description. We're not going to have an organization. Collection. We will have a collection. We're gonna leave all of these the same for now. Yeah, we're gonna leave all these the same for now. So there's that, and then let's do the same thing. Get folders query. It's publication. Did I just call this the wrong thing? Yeah. Oops. Okay. Well, categories query. And then here, everywhere we say categories, we need to say folders instead. And then the guts of this are going to be here. And so here. Okay. ID, parent folder ID, parent folder title, title description, folder type. Okay. Indented one more. And that was the problem up here too. That's why it looked weird. All right. So we have those two queries. Let's just do tags because we're already doing these. Tags. Tags. And then we copy guts one more time. Tags are exactly the same shape. That makes sense. Okay. So we have all of our queries now for get public collection categories, tags, and folders. Now we're going to go over to the backend and make this work. So query type. Links. Okay. Field categories. Okay, now we're going to do field. Oh no, let's copy collection links. Okay, field categories. Field collection. Categories, types, category type, all false. We know no true. This one should be no true too, but we're gonna have a collection public ID. We're not paginating this. Collection links. Turn collection where collection ID is that. That's it. Yeah, that should do it. Okay. Field tags and folders. Okay, let's just do all of these because they're all right here. Field collection. Categories. Okay. Tags. Tag type. True. Collection. Tags. Ooh, I forgot. What did I? I messed up. Okay. The one on top, collections, tags, folders. Categories, tags. This is tags. This is a tag type. No, null is true. Collection doesn't have to have tags. Collection book ID should be tags, and this one should be categories. No limiter offset. I don't think I did that here either. Nope. This syntax looks weird, wrong to me, but that's it. Find the collection, and then return tag where collection ID is collection.id. Cool, we got that for tags, and then we're going to do this one more time for folders. Folders. Folder. Folders. And folder. Let's see if that worked. So restart our backend, and then we go to our application and refresh. Unexpected $sign. That's not okay. So something's messed up here. Missing a $sign here. And a $sign here. And a $sign here. Oops. Okay. Cool. We're rendering again. Refresh. Not going to be fetching anything yet. We are going to be fetching. How's that? Well, this is okay. Okay, so we have our backend done, and then we're doing the collections first, so, or categories first. So it's query, and I forgot how to use query with a arguments. Let's double check our link wrapper. Use query. The second argument is an array of options, one of which is variables. And public, that's collection, public ID. And we've already already done this one place. Params, and use params is from React router. And so now we're passing collection public ID from the URL to the GraphQL query. Same thing for this guy. Okay, and refresh. It's still fetching the wrong. Am I rendering the wrong one? Have them swapped. I go to link search wrapper. Nope. Do I go so side drawer? Link side drawer. Yeah, I have them swapped. No, I don't. Link side drawer. Collection side drawer. Category. Display. Yeah, I do have. Okay, so we do this. And this. And this. And this. And then format on save to remove all the extra spaces. Okay, so that's kind of the right direction, but not correct. Collection folders and collection categories. I don't want this refiring every time we render this. Regardless. Collection public ID of type string was provided an invalid value. Okay, so here yeah, what is it? I'm imagining it's probably undefined. Yeah. Why is it undefined? The use params, we are outside, like sidebar gets rendered way before anything else. I go to public, I go to active page. Like the side drawer has been rendered before we even have an active page. So it's outside all of the routing logic, but okay, yeah, and this is with the React router, so that might be, yeah, so that's what's going on. So we can use match instead. Know if this will work. Yeah, it does not work. Oh, that did it. Cool. Okay. So collections ID does not exist. Well, that's not true, but that is true. Collections don't have a collection ID. They have an ID. So we go here. No, wrong one. I go collection where category, where collection is this. Tag, where collection ID. Folder where collection ID. Yeah. Okay. So restart Rails again. Come back here. Clear that. Okay, and then okay, and we're not re-rendering every time, which is what I want, but we're also not fetching anything, so okay. Collection links, collection links, tags, folders, collection categories. All right, we did fetch the categories. So this query ran, we fetched the categories. This worked, so what's the problem? Oh. Okay, wrong shape. So if I go, let's do a debugger to illustrate this. So the problem now is when I go fetch the category query data, it now has data dot collection categories. Before it was just data dot categories. We had to do the same thing. We had to fix this for links as well. I want to pass this component actual categories and actual folders. I don't want to pass it a subset of an object from GraphQL. I want to just pass it folder objects and category objects. So I need to change this interface. So we what we want to pass it is this, and folders. I got them reversed. We need to fix this. Get collection folders query. Get so collection folders and collection categories. Let's create those. categories. Yeah, that's right. Folders. So now we're getting the folders and the categories, or rather now we're typed correctly. So this is working, but now we need to update the categories display, and this is also going to break our one for the link page, which is not a big deal. Go to the categories display and categories. This is now just an array. Optional array of categories. This is just an optional array of folders. And then we go back to this one, and now this is folders and categories. And with that, hard refresh. Okay. We're still not in what? Categories display. Oh, yeah, duh. So, okay, and then in here, we're not done. So this is folder query data. Category query data rather, and then this should maybe just be called categories. This is just going to be called folders. This is just an array of folders and an array of categories. Okay, so that's done. Great. So then we need to change that here too, of course. So folders, categories, folders, categories, and now, boom, hard refresh, and network tab, close everything, and this is working as we expect. I go ahead and give you a category. Does this work? It does. Cool. So that's neat. Now let's do the same thing for tags. First, let's go ahead and commit again. Queries, we added all of our queries. Folder, category. We didn't add a tag type yet. Categories display has been refactored. Public collections fetches categories and tags. Appropriate categories and tags. Okay, So now we're going to do the same thing, but for folders. So we think the backend should be good. We're going to go to the side drawer tags display. Go to this wrapper. So what do we need to do? Same stuff as we did with the other one. So the tags display is going to now accept an array of folders or an array of tags. These are optional. We're also going to call these folders and tags. Folders. Oh wait, let's do that second because we have this too. So there. Now, just going to that. So tag query data, folder query data. Yep, cool. And now we rename this to just folders and to just tags. So that's tags. That's this component fixed. Just close that. Collection wrapper. Now for the tags display wrapper, this is going to be folders and tags and folders and tags. That's all we have to do for this one. For this one, we need to this to be get collection. How do I do that? Get collection folder query interface, which does already exist, so we can just import it. And then this one, get collection tags query interface. So this is untested, an untested query. We're going to, this is still unhappy. Oh yeah, collection folders, collection tags, go here and we need to actually define that type, collection tags. Folders, tags. Thought I had done that. And that might be it. And what we're doing now, no, that's okay. That's just while we were mid building stuff. That's fine. Okay, we don't actually have any tags. This button needs to be removed, but for now we're gonna do collection tag 1. And you're owned by collection 1. And this, and we're gonna just tag you with tag 1. Okay, so this actually does have, there are tags in here. This collection does have tags, they're just not being loaded. So let's make sure, are we fetching them? Collection links. Whatever. Tags, folders, collection categories, collection folder. Why did we get collection? Did we not switch? Yeah, okay. And then here we need to use not this, but get collection folders and get collection tags. And this takes another, like that options object, which includes this stuff. And so you have this, and you also have a this, and we need to grab the ID from the URL using match logic, and just let me import you. Yes. And with that, hard refresh. Still not loading. Okay, collection folders. Fine. Collection categories. Still fetching folders. Links. Okay. Links, tags, folders, collection categories, collection folders. Canceled. Refresh. Did it just fall behind? No. So, okay. So, collection tags. We're rendering the right thing. Collection folders, collection categories. I don't understand why we're still fetching full tags. Links. User. Collection folders. Let's create a. Oh, no, that's. Yeah, that checks out. We should maybe. We have two places where we're fetching collection folders. That's a little. They could both get rendered at the same time, so they're going to fetch at the same time, roughly. It's a micro optimization to fix that, but that's what's happening there. Why are we getting the old or like my users folder? That shouldn't happening. But I want to, again, we're getting tags, and we're not getting my rendering the right thing again, the wrong thing again. So if we go to just closing category stuff now, side row categories. How'd I do that? Okay. Categories display, collection wrapper, tags display. Oh no, that's right. Collection wrapper. We are rendering this one. Just for sanity's sake. Does this disappear? It does. Okay. We're still getting folders and tags. All of the folders and tags. Tags display, collection wrapper. Let's sanity check these. So collection folders query. Well, that would, okay, so that's, I thought I just did this. Collection tags, collection folder. I thought I literally just committed. Wait, what? So category is display. Oh, get public collections category. Oh, okay, then let's get collection category. Is this used anywhere? No. Okay, that's what happened. These are used, but we shouldn't be using them. These are dead. But yeah, I should have. We should be using paginated. Okay. I did that at some point and failed to delete them. So here, this should be get public collections folder query and to get public collections tags query. Now we're fetching these. And now if I do this, it's okay, right? Yeah, if I do this, I only see testing 0. If I do this, I see that one. Cool. And with that, tags is now complete, and our basic page for public collections is working. You can go to a public collection page, and by doing so, you will load the links for that public collection and also the categories and tags for it, and the filtering logic does work. I say linkindex. Linkindex shows up here as a result. I can also do search for cat2. Still works. Let me delete that and then search for cat2 again. Now that's finding the cat2 as part of the category. And if I do tag1, it's right there. Cool, the basics are working. So I think refreshing is going to trigger. I need to fix refresh. Maybe I'll just delete this. I'll add that to my to-do list, but okay, cool. So this is the basics done. I'm going to go ahead and commit that real quick. Public collections renders tags. Fetches appropriate tags and folders. Cool. So cool. That's the basics done. I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to do a little bit of diligence on what I want to do next. There's a lot of next steps we still have. This is not nearly good enough for a actual public collections page. We need to do a lot of diligence on what we need to remove from this view and how we're going to do that. And stuff. I also need to, at the top of this page, I need to display the information about the collection. So the user that authored it and the description of the collection, the name of the collection. There's a lot more stuff we have to do. This refresh button isn't working because it's hard-coded right now to refetch the links that belong to the user. There's also a million console errors. I have a really noisy console because I keep everything on, but there's a million console errors that keeps happening. This, for example, like really bothers me. I want to get rid of that. So yeah, there's a lot more to do, but the bones, like the bare bones functionality of public collections is working. Oh, also, this isn't working while you're logged out. If I log out, the sidebar is hard-coded to not appear when the user's logged out, and we're not fetching anything when the user's logged out, which should not be the case. So I need to fix that. So still got a lot of work to do, but that's the bare bones functionality working, which, again, I'm really stoked about. From here, it's just a bunch of basic cleanup stuff, nothing too complicated. So not too worried about that, but I'll tackle that in the next video. So that's what I got for this one. Thanks for watching. David out.